Imagine your family is $1 million in debt. In 2002, that's the exact nightmare this family in Thailand was facing. Their only hope was their teenage son, a kid who cared more about video games than college. He was about to drop out, had failed at every business he tried, and was going to risk it all on a simple snack. This isn't just a story about getting rich. It's the insane chain of events that turned a forgotten sea vegetable into a national obsession. This is the unbelievable, but 100% true story of how a kid who was losing the game of life found a way to win for everyone he loved. This is how fried seaweed saved a family. This kid's family was $1 million in debt. And what was he doing? Playing video games and selling virtual swords online. This is the incredible story of how he used fried seaweed to not only pay off that entire debt, but build a massive empire. Meet Tao. In the early 2000s, while everyone else was in class, he was skipping university to play video games 24/7, and he got so good, he was making real money selling rare in-game items. We're talking $10,000, enough to buy a car, while he was still a teenager. To his parents, this was a total waste of time. But for Tao, this was his first business. He was learning about supply and demand inside a video game. But while Tao was winning online, his family was losing in real life. Their construction business had collapsed, leaving them with a 40 million baht debt. That's $1 million US. The pressure was suffocating. Tao was a king in his digital world, but in the real world, his family's castle was crumbling. He had only enrolled in university to make his parents happy. He was a hustler, not a scholar. As his family's situation got worse, school felt pointless. So he made a crazy decision. He dropped out of college with one single mission: make enough money to save his family. And then it got worse. The bank took their house. Gone. Defeated, his parents decided to move to China to escape the debt. They asked Tao to come with them, but Tao refused. He wouldn't abandon his home. At that moment, something inside him snapped. The carefree gamer was gone. He was going to stay in Thailand and fix this massive problem himself. He wasn't playing for high scores anymore. He was playing for his family's survival. So what was his first brilliant idea? Selling roasted chestnuts. He invested his money in a franchise, set up a stall in a mall, and for a second, it looked like it was working. People were lining up. Business was so good he expanded to multiple locations and became the little boss. But then, disaster. The mall got complaints about the smoke and smell from his roasters and kicked his stalls out. Sales completely disappeared. What was once a thriving business became another failure. Losing money he didn't have. The chestnut dream was over. Defeated and running out of money, Tao was about to give up. And then he came across a simple bag of fried seaweed. As he ate it, a switch flipped in his mind. It was crispy, savory, and totally addictive. He looked at the snack and saw $1 billion idea. Chestnuts failed because of smoke and logistics. But a prepackaged snack? You could sell that anywhere, in thousands of stores. This was his aha moment. His past failures had prepared him for this. He decided to go all in on creating the world's best fried seaweed snack. The only problem? He had no idea how to make it. So he turned his kitchen into a science lab. He bought tons of seaweed and just started frying. The first batches were disgusting, burnt, greasy, awful. He was running out of money fast. So he did something insane. He sold his gaming computers and virtual items, the very things that gave him his start. He liquidated his past to fund his future, using the money to buy more seaweed and oil for his experiments. His family watched, worried. After countless failures, he finally did it. He perfected a unique frying method that created an impossibly crispy texture. With a product finally ready, he started selling it in hand-packed bags. But to pay off a $1 million debt, he had to think bigger, way bigger. Taub aimed for the ultimate prize, getting his snack into every 7-Eleven in Thailand. A deal with them would be a golden ticket. He managed to get a meeting. They tasted the seaweed, and they rejected him on the spot. The problem wasn't the taste. They loved it. The problem was everything else. His packaging was amateur. His price was too high. His production capacity was basically zero. They told him to come back when he had a real company and a real factory. For most people, that would be the end. But for Taub, this was just a to-do list. He got a professional logo designed featuring the Little Boss caricature. His enemy wasn't a person. It was a mountain of obstacles. No money, no factory, and a ticking clock. Months later, Taub was back at 7-Eleven. This time, they were impressed. They offered him a deal that could change his life forever. They wanted to stock his seaweed in thousands of stores. The catch? He had to deliver a huge quantity of product in just a few months. And one more thing, he needed a dedicated factory that could pass their hygiene inspection. Taub didn't have a factory. He went to a bank for a loan. Rejected. The banker saw a risky kid, not a CEO. It looked like it was over, but he refused to lose. In a last-ditch effort, he sold the last of his valuable assets, found a small, empty warehouse, and poured every cent he had into transforming it. Day and night, he and his small team worked to get it ready. The day the inspectors came, his entire future was on the line. And it passed. Boom! The first Tao Kae Noi shipment went out to 7-Eleven. His snack, with its catchy Little Boss logo, was everywhere, and it was an instant hit. Sales exploded. Taub even noticed sales spiked when his snacks were near the cash registers and negotiated for that prime spot. The money started pouring in. He ran the numbers and made the call he'd been dreaming of. He called his father in China. "How much is our debt?" The answer, 40 million baht. Within just a couple of years, he had done it. He paid off the entire debt. The first thing he did was buy back their family home. And then he made the most important call of his life, telling his parents, "You can come home now." This story is absolutely insane. If you love hearing about people who beat impossible odds and want more stories like this, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. And let me know in the comments. What is the biggest challenge you have ever overcome? But he didn't stop there. Paying off the debt was just level 1. Tao Kae Noi took over the snack market in Thailand, capturing a 70% market share. That's basically a monopoly. His story was so crazy they made a hit movie about him called The Billionaire. The company went public in 2015. It started exporting to just a few countries and now sells in over 40 countries, including the US and China. The kid who was once selling virtual swords was now a real-life billionaire in Thai baht and one of the richest people in Thailand. His family, once broken, was whole again, helping him run the empire he built. Today, Tao Kae Noi is a global brand. In 2023, the company reported revenue of 5.3 billion baht, with most of it coming from international sales. It's expanding into major U.S. stores like Costco, Kroger, and Walmart. The story isn't perfect. Itthipat Peeradechapan resigned as CEO in late 2025 following sanctions for an insider trading incident. But you cannot deny the legacy of what he built. Tob's journey is the ultimate masterclass in entrepreneurship. He proved you don't need a formal education to succeed. He learned business not in a classroom, but by failing. The failed chestnut business taught him about logistics. Getting rejected by 7-Eleven taught him about professional standards. Every failure was a lesson. He faced financial ruin and impossible challenges. Yet at every turn, when anyone else would have quit, he pushed forward. In the end, the little boss didn't just build a seaweed empire and pay off a $1 million debt. He proved that the craziest ideas can change everything, and that if you refuse to give up, you can't truly lose. Because as Tob himself said, if we give up, it's over.